Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on BeamNG Drive with a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a wacky map. This is the downhill endurance map, and the goal is going to be simple for us. I am going to try and get a car to the bottom that still functions. That means it's going to be able to drive forward under its own power and have some semblance of steering. It's not going to be factory condition, but it's got to have some sort of control over the direction it's heading in. We've got our start line, I'm going to release the handbrake, and I'm not allowed to touch the brake. Now, I can try and slow the car down a little bit by essentially wiggling from side to side. That will be... that's a little bit too much wiggling from side to side here. I have had a couple of... that's a big thing we don't want to hit. I've had a couple of runs down here before I started filming this, so I vaguely have an idea where I want to be putting the car. We'll go through the middle here. That works. Now, these rocks are going to be a problem for road cars. Oh, it's taken the oil pan, but that's it. That's actually pretty good. That's bad. Oh, it's lost a drive shaft. As I say, if it skidded on the roof and came back onto its wheels, that might not have been too bad. We have lost a drive shaft, and it's locked up a wheel. Something's locked. I don't know what has locked in there. I think the engine's dead. The fuel tank's on fire. I mean, the locking is actually quite good for keeping the vehicle slowed down. I mean, we're actually getting towards the end of this run. I have a lot of control in terms of the steering, which is pretty good. We'll try and get it away from these big sand dunes. We're not got as good steering as I'd like, though. Oh, dear. Cart. Oh, you got a cartwheel. That's not good. Not that it's really gonna live anyway. It's into the mud, the drive shaft's dead, the engine's out of fuel, and the steering is a suggestion now. One wheel still works, but the engine isn't going to start anyway, so I don't even think the brakes are going to work. It's out of fuel. So that is attempt number 1 for the I-Series, and honestly, I think the I-Series is probably, more often than not, going to die on the same bit. I don't know if we're going to be able to get across those rocks. That is the big concern for it. Because, I mean, it's a road car at the end of the day. This is a mid-spec I-Series. Oh, dear. Okay, I guess we're going this side now. It's fine, I think. Oh, it's not so fine. It has torn the front wheels off, where we've lost all steering completely. I think this second attempt is going to be a bust. Fairly early on, that is a bust. So, we've got one more attempt with this. We have one more attempt with the I-Series. I didn't quite get it changed direction quick enough up here. And once it got up onto its side, it was done for. Well, I say that, actually, we were okay, but it's the ground clearance is the problem, is that we're hitting these edges of these bumps if we hit them. Oh, I haven't got the steering. Okay, this isn't as bad as it could be. It's looking quite poor. Good news is we've actually shrugged off a lot of speed. This could be good. Unintentional, but we have shrugged off an awful lot of speed. We're probably 40, 50 miles an hour slower than we would be normally. That might be helpful for dealing with the containers that we're about to come up to here. Can I find... I don't know if there is a line through there. No, there's not. Even at lower speed, it's still going to launch the car. Right. Okay, good news. It's still actually not damaged anything critical. We are on our roof. If this survives, it'll be the cheesiest... Oh, I don't need a fuel tank going. Fuel tank going is a problem. Because we're gonna... The car might physically work at the bottom here, just be out of fuel. Oh, that'd be really annoying if that's what kills the I-Series. Just don't piddle all your fuel away. Uh-oh. I've got no control. I have got working steering still. I can't stop us heading to the ramp. We're gonna go up and... Oh, no. Stuck on its roof. I mean, the theory was solid. Well, I say the theory. It was helpful that we crashed, actually. We shrugged off a lot of speed, but in the end, the ground clearance was just too low on this car, and the containers got the better of it. The I-Series does not survive. So, ground clearance seemed to be the main problem for the I-Series. So we've got something with, well, better ground clearance, pretty much. We've got a van. We've kind of got like a minivan style thing. I don't know when this came to the game. I don't remember. This is not a mod. This is an official part of the game. I don't remember when this came to the game. But it's got considerably more ground clearance. I mean, downsides, length is probably a bad thing. For this, you probably want as small a vehicle as possible. Okay, that can actually ride over those edge parts without completely destroying itself. Yeah, length might be a problem over some of the bumps. We might have a little bit more stability in some instances, though. We'll have to wait and see. Rocks are no problem at all. Oh, that's a lot of airtime that I did not want. It's going to dig in. Oh, it's peeled the van off of it. Well, I mean, we technically still have... No, we don't have steering. The front wheels are still attached. The engine is still attached, but the engine is broke. The drive shaft, amazingly, is still in one piece. It is rear-wheel drive, this vehicle, which... I mean, all-wheel drive is inherently slightly better just because you've got another drive shaft that might survive. You've got a backup drive shaft, essentially. It's done a pretty good job of skidding along on a frame. I mean, it might make it to the bottom as a frame. If we don't hit in one of the pits. No, we're past those. What's going to happen? Is that a bumper? Part of the vehicle is well off in front. We're going to launch that over there. Oh, it basically landed on its engine. Amazingly, this engine... The engine isn't dead. Actually, it's engine damaged. It didn't say engine, like, disabled. The engine does apparently still maybe function? No, it doesn't. I can't get it to turn on. Never mind. We're going to get about as far as we got with that I-Series. Actually, we might be able to skate along away from the mud for a bit. And nope. Into the mud we go. I can wiggle the analog stick. It doesn't do a damn thing. Actually, it's good. It's skating through the mud really well. It's technically going to make it to the bottom. The spare wheel comes off at the end. I don't quite know how that's made it to the bottom. It has. Just... as a frame. Okay. Actually, the big problem we have with this is it's the dirt. That dirt section just launches the truck airborne. And I don't know how I can stop that. That's not an easy one to deal with. Like here, for example, I can pick my line that I want, and the truck has no problem across there. This next sort of section here, we've got more than enough ground clearance, no problem. We can angle ourselves through the middle. Across the rocks even, we've got more than enough ride height. That's fine. We have not got airtime as badly this one. That is actually good. I've just not got any steering. I was trying to steer it and it just wasn't responding. It's again torn itself apart. I don't know whether we were in the air or whether it was on the bumps that was having the issues. That has disintegrated the whole of my truck. That is game over again. It's that section. It's those containers followed by the checkerboards and trying to get it into these tubes that seem to be getting the better of this truck. If we can get it there, I think we might be okay. Then the next big difficulty is controlling it through the forest and around the giant craters and potentially trying to avoid the big sort of sand dunes at the end. That change of direction. We're having trouble steering up here. It's going to get worse when we get further down, pretty much. Okay, so we're across the rocks. We get a little bit of airtime, but it's not too bad. We're going to hit a little bit of the containers. I just can't get the steering to work. We've lost a tyre, but that's okay. We are out of control now at this point. Uh-oh. Get away from that ramp. Oh, it's well landed. Oh, it's spiraling. Come on. The engine's damaged, but it's not destroyed here. Oh, come on, van. Don't go in one of the potholes. Oh, it's lost a front wheel. That's not the end of days. If we've still got steering, that is not the end of days. Have we got steering on the other wheel? We do have some steering. Now, we've shrugged off a whole host of speed. This could actually be really good for the truck. One of the I don't know whether that was a spare wheel or whether that was the wheel that was on the front of this. A wheel has made a bid for freedom. This might actually do it. Astonishingly, it might make it from that spiral to have only lost a front wheel. Would be incredible. We got it back under control. It's going to drive into the mud that will shrug off some of the speed, and then we will head to the bottom, and it's a nice gentle plane at the bottom. Now we can get on the brakes. It has made it, and I think the van is still drivable. It is. It's not very good. It's not very good, and it's not going to set any speed records. I mean, the roof is buckled. You would not want to be in any seat in this van. However, it actually made it. It was very lucky. It could have got a lot worse. I think the roof took a lot of the damage, and that's what saved it. The impacts, crushing the roof, just doesn't do any damage to the mechanics of the car, so it can keep driving. Yeah, we lost a wheel, but look at it go. Oh, the van that could. The minivan sort of style H-Series absolutely can survive that descent. Well, with the game having a new supercar, it would be remiss of me not to try it. So I have got the off-road spec. I feel like this is the best chance. We've already seen the I-Series have trouble. If there's any spec of this that is going to survive, possibly survive down here, it's going to have to be this one. We're going to need the ground clearance. I think this might still be too low, possibly. I don't know. We'll wait and see. It's like through here we should be fine across these bumps. That's all okay. It's going to be the containers and how high they launch it. That could be a problem. And it is probably more aerodynamic than we've seen from a lot of cars, so it might actually go faster down here. Oh, the oil pan's damaged. We've got airtime over there, which we do not want. Oh, well, even if we somehow survive, we do not survive. Oh, that's been cut in half. This car can get cut in half. That's quite impressive, actually. We do still have steering, funnily enough. We will put on the brakes. It's definitely not surviving, funnily enough. Oh! The back's going! Hold on. Hold on. Where is the back of the car? It's still going. It's still going to make... Well, it's making some speed. It's making some serious speed down here. I think it's lost both the wheels. Yeah, both the rear wheels have come off. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I like that this car can get cut in half. That's always fun when the vehicles have that ability. There's a few cars that can, not many. The Bolide, the race car, Group 4 version or whatever it is, that can do it. Oh, are you going to fall in a pit? Oh, bounced over. I mean, that will make its way to the bottom. It's just a ball of metal, really, at this point. So it's not exactly that impressive that a ball of metal is making its way to the bottom. I'm not sure why I'm still following it. It's just, it's had an adventure, the engine. Oh, and the bodywork's come off. It's now, well, I mean, it's just a metal exoskeleton, really. It's actually more just a metal ball. That's carrying some real momentum going down here. Oh, we've made a weird weapon out of our car. And it's still shredding bits. It's going to come to a rest. Oh, looks like something out of Robot Wars. And a crumpled heap of metal has ended up. There we go. That was the engine. Oh, and a wheel. I love that the wheels just turn up randomly. Oh, okay. How on earth are we ever going to survive this? It's the real problem is the getting airtime. That is the real difficulty. So we're okay here. We don't have too much. Oh, okay. We do have a problem if we clip that. Bloody hell. We'll still be one-wheel drive. Regardless of whether we have a drive here, this is still going to be good and important information because it's about how do I survive this section. I don't know how to survive that. We have landed actually really well here. Can we get it across the checkerboard part without it disintegrating? No, we just hit the edge of that. I mean, we only got as far as we did because of a crash and losing a whole amount of speed. So, yeah. I'm not sure. As cool as this is, I don't think this is the one. Can we try and shrug off... Do we reckon shrugging off some speed is going to be a good idea? Although it's going to put me in a wonky place, maybe, for attacking the laser. So there are different ways through this. So this is the way that I've found best to try and avoid the edge of the pipes and still make it to... Because we've really got to avoid the edge of the pipes and make it onto this ramp. After here, it doesn't really matter whether I go left or right. I just instinctively... Oh, God. Instinctively go to the right-hand side here. There is a path through these rocks. Oh, I've lost the back end because the tyre's gone. We've made it across the rocks really well. I'm very much struggling for grip here. That's going to launch us, and that's going to tear all the wheels off. Yeah. It's not quite able to survive this. I think it has got some ground clearance to it. Oh dear, we're going to impale it, and off goes the back of it. Ouch, that's such a nasty... didn't mean to press that button. That's such a nasty crash right there. Oh, it bounces. It just bounces too much. Maybe the suspension's too stiff, or whatever it might be. It is not able to cushion those rocks, cushion those bumps, and it just gets airborne, and you can't recover it from that point. So I think in terms of survivability, off-road vehicles are going to be the way to go. However, if there is a, I guess, closer to sensible road car that is going to survive ridiculous punishments, the Grand Marshal is probably that. The police spec has survived some ridiculous things on this game, so that is what I'm going to have a go with. Now, it doesn't have particularly high ride height, although the underside of this car, from when I have run in Driven to Destruction and just been playing around with the car, this is strong in general. It can survive a lot more hits than you ever expect it to. So I'm hoping, in theory, it should be good down here. I don't know. It might still come undone over like these rocks. Or if it gets launched airborne, we are struggling to control it here. That is engine damage. It's blocked to the fuel tank. That is going to be out of control, and it's going to hit the edge of there. Yeah, we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen, and I don't know how we're going to stop that. It is this section. It's the container edges. They're the bits that cause the biggest problem. There's not really a line through them. If you were going very slowly, there is a line through them. But at the speed that all of the cars are going to be travelling, because I can shrug off a little bit of speed early on, but after this initial part, if we start weaving, we're just going to have a crash, basically. So we're going to hit at least one container ridge, if you like. And because, I mean, the best line we've found through the rocks is about here. That is through there. Uh-oh. We might escape around the outside of the container ridges there. We're across the checkerboard. This is actually looking really good for the Grand Marshal. Can I get it onto the ridge there? Oh dear. Uh-oh. Oh. I think I should have gone... I actually should have not gone to try and drive across the ridge at speed. I would have been better off. The whole bodywork has come off the top of that. Ow. I should have jumped down, actually. I might have done less damage. It's because, yeah, we went on the ridge at a slightly wonky angle and just couldn't gather it back up. I mean, we have found a way around the containers. It's difficult to aim for it, but if we can do it, you can actually kind of skip the containers by going around. It's a little bit cheating, a little bit cheap. Although, if you do go around the outside of the containers like that, you do have to really pull the car back across to get it into the tube section. So it has its own challenges, and it will really depend on how much we launch it across the rocks and how much it gets launched. Oh, I think we lost a front wheel. This is bad. This has gone wrong. There's a gap. There's 100% a gap to aim for with this car. I feel like it could maybe do it. After a lot of attempts, possibly it could get there. However, the Grand Marshal has had its 3 tries. It is coasting its way down. Do I actually have any steering? Do I have any control over where this car goes? No, I do not. It's into the ice. And that... Well, it might make it to the bottom, actually. Or it might... I know, it might just bounce off the wall here and end up in a tree. I have no steering. I can't stop it. I can see the impending doom. It's the impending doom. Oh no, we're still going! We made a tree-shaped dent in the car. But it's still going to roll. I was expecting that to come to a stop. No, it's going to twist its way. It's going to twist its way back around. Are we going to find another tree, or are we going to fall in? I'm now more curious about, will this actually just make it to the bottom? At least could we make it to the bottom for some sort of pride here? I don't know. Possibly. We shall see on this one. Or are we going to end up in a pit? There's a bit of wing mirror? No, we've avoided the pits, amazingly. Amazingly, we've avoided the pits, although we might go off... Oh, no, don't go up the dune and end up off the map. That would be a bad way to end this. Oh, it is still on the map, at least. That's something. I think... Oh, it's going to... we might get stuck on the hill. Come on, Grand Marshal, we're willing you onwards. Ah, not quite. Didn't even make it to the bottom with that tree-shaped dent. Now, in theory, this is the ideal sort of vehicle. This is the Roma Adventure. It is just a kind of heavy-duty off-roady style truck. We've got lots of ground clearance. We've got compliant suspension that should ride the bumps very well. There are a couple of downsides. The main and most significant one is... because of the ground clearance, because of the suspension, this has a very high centre of mass, which means it's quite likely to fall over, which is bad. We do not want this thing to fall over, although it is good across the rocks. Do we reckon we can go across the containers? Oh, wow, it doesn't even notice the containers there. That is awesome. Right, I'm not going to try and aim for the very narrow ridges. I'm going to just jump down here, because we should... Oh, it's lost a drive shaft, but this is four-wheel drive, so we can still drive it with a front-wheel drive here. We'll avoid the giant craters. Now, we've got to swing it left, and then swing it right. Oh, don't spin it, though. That's bad. Oh, it just dug in. So we have to swing it like that to avoid... We don't want to hit those sand dunes. That will be way too much damage for the vehicle to survive. There's a chance... Oh, the front drive shaft went. Like I say, there's a chance it might actually drive if it lost just the rear wheels. It does still have steering, amazingly. Sadly, though, we lost a front drive shaft as well in all of that. But it is close. That is close to working, I reckon. It's just getting the... It's just... We've got to... That was a bit too harsh on the steering. We've got to get... we've got to get it turned enough to avoid the big sand dunes, but not so much that we roll it. Basically, we can't let it dig in like that, because that will... And that is the high centre of mass at work there. And that is the trade-off that we have to deal with. It's remarkably good here. Like, this is not really any problem at all for it. In fact, actually, I wonder if we could... Will we have the steering to... Oh... So the reason I was trying to get here is it's much easier to get across the central bits. No. I've ruined my second run trying to be a little bit clever. Arse. Now, the question is, do we, for the third run, do I try and get back to the middle? Or... do I go with what I know and accept that the bounce across the ice will probably take out a drive shaft? I mean, if it only loses one drive shaft, it's okay. Damn it. I was hoping we were at least going to get to find out whether it was going to work. Like, the theory is that line should work, but it's just a theory. Do I stick with what we know, accept that we might lose a drive shaft, but... be better at it? I don't know about taking rocks to the left-hand side here. I don't know how they're going to come. Well, this shouldn't have a problem, should it? Across the rocks, actually. Across the dirt, it's bounced a little bit, but it's not uncontrollable. That's more like it. Right. Spot where the central column is. There it is. We're nicely on it. Very, very high speed, but that's fine. Now, actually, this might be better for us here, because we can kind of diagonal it away from... Oh, God, there's a pothole there. I did not get the oh dear, I didn't get that turned anywhere near. Although, actually, land on your roof. Land on your roof. Arse. Oh, okay. So the downside of that line on the outside is you do not have much time to pull it back across. For that. That really snuck up on me, despite going very fast. I knew where it was, it just did not time it right. That could definitely, if the van survived, that could definitely survive it down there. You've just got to get it absolutely spot on. We were close. But the Adventure Roma doesn't quite make it. Well, I figured I'd have a bit of fun for the final car to run down here. This is a Moonhawk that's normally pretty strong. However, it's in Donk form, and I have no idea how tough the suspension, or wheels even, might be on this. Or the suspension might not know how to deal with these big wheels, and the car might shake and wobble, and this seems like a bad idea, but let's find out. Oh, yeah, it's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. It has absolutely no control over the bumps. The front suspension's already collapsed. We're going completely the wrong side. I have no idea what the rocks are going to be like over here, but I fear because the suspension's collapsed. Oh, the rocks are bad! Don't go down that side. The rocks are really bad down there. That has just completely shredded the car. Somehow that front wheel is still attached to this, and I don't know how. It has been completely disintegrated. Yeah, don't go down that side. That is a death of a donk right there. I mean, the donks are terrible anyway, so it kind of deserves it, but yeah, okay. That is not a line to take. That is not a line to take whatsoever. Okay. So, the things we've learned, okay, actually, what if we try this? Haven't really tried this. We can kind of kill... I mean, this only works early on, and this is a really bad car to do it in because it's bouncing something terrible. Look how bad that suspension is. It's so awful, but now we can't... we can kind of weave around here. The thing is, it's going to slow us down a bit, but at some point we're going to have to accept that we've got to go forward. We're going to run out... We're going to be going too fast to be able to do this anymore. Like, now I think we've basically got to the point where I can't keep changing direction. We've maybe shrugged off a little bit of speed. We haven't collapsed out. Oh god, that's so uncontrollable over there. And now the good news is if we're on that roof, we're not actually breaking... We've broken the steering. So we're not breaking the wheels, but we have broken the steering, I think. Do I have any... No, I do still have steering. It's not great. Uh-oh. Oh, no, you're going to snap a wheel? Okay, no. Tyre puncture is alright. Okay, we can cheese this a little bit here if I've still got the steering to pull it left, which we do still have, but I think we're going to destroy the front end on these squares. We might go fast enough, actually, to get over them. Ooh! Okay, we've lost a front wheel. That's not the end of the world. Oh, no, we have lost steering, because I think the other one's just flapping in the breeze. Oh, and we've lost a rear wheel as well. That's more of a problem. No, it can still drive on one wheel. If we can still steer... No, we can still steer. No, don't skewer it. Don't skewer it on the massive spike. I kind of want this to survive now. I kind of actually want this to survive because it's so ridiculous. It would be awesome. I mean, I'm cheesing it. Oh, no, it's lost the front. Oh, we've lost steering. I was kind of cheesing it by crashing it into the wall to slow it down. Oh no, the craters are going to claim it. Not the donk! Don't put the donk in a crater! It's got out of one, it's avoided two, we've made a flatmobile out of it, and it's going to slowly spin its way into oblivion. It's lost the drive shaft as well. Ah, it was a valiant effort, that one, actually. That got a lot closer to surviving than a donk should have ever done down here. Oh, and the wheel's off. We got one more try with it. I don't know whether the slow part up here actually helped or not. I think sometimes maybe if you're going a bit faster, you are slightly better over the bumps. Basically, the car's got less time for the suspension. It's got less time to be affected by the bumps, almost. You kind of like bounce. Like, you hit the first one, and then you're over multiple of them, essentially. So you're only really dealing with one impact, whereas when we're going slowly, you hit each individual rock or whatever it might be that you're crashing into. So yeah, maybe this is a very cheesy strategy. Let's be honest here. This is borderline cheating what I'm doing at the moment. Oh god! But if I lose control of it and spin, then I will have no control over where we're aiming at, and that would be bad. I say this, but this technically isn't cheating. It's a little bit against the spirit of what we've been doing. The donk is just about holding on. It's just got the grip. It's so uncomfortable. Now, I can't do this strategy any further than basically through those, because this starts getting too rough now. I've got to go over these bits properly, because otherwise I will break the car. It's so uncomfortable. it doesn't settle, because the suspension's not... The car's not right on the suspension, so it just doesn't settle properly over any of those bumps. We've got to go over this way to avoid the worst of the rocks. We have lost all the tyres have punctured. We've smacked a wall, we've lost the drive shaft anyway. Oh dear. Yeah, last attempt was better. Last attempt was considering it. We lost all tyres, so I had no control over it anyway, going way too fast. And that is that. That is the end of the Donk. The front wheels have come off. We've only got one wheel left. The wheel is going to beat us. Oh, if that wheel... Oh, it almost got perfectly down the centre part. Go on, can we beat our own wheel to the bottom? I somehow doubt it. I somehow doubt it, although it is taking a worse route than us, because it's going to have to go up that big ramp. Up goes the wheel. Oh no, we might get past it. That ramp will still launch the wheel towards the finish line, I should say. It's not vertical yet. There it is. The wheel is going to maybe start making ground on it. This is the weirdest race I've ever commentated on. Wait, there's another wheel. That one, other wheels. It is. There are two wheels in the race still going downhill. That's making some serious ground. The other one behind us, we've got away from that one. Oh no! Don't get stuck on the wall. Keep going. At least make it to the finish. Come on, Donk. No, you've stalled out. You're stuck in the sand. The wheel has gone past. Oh dear, that is a messed up car. Well, there we go. That was a look at downhill endurance. I'm just going to see where the wheels did end up. Did they actually make it to the end zone down here? They might have bounced out. No, they did. There is one. There's not even got a tyre left on that one. That is just the wheel. That one there is also... Well, it's got more of a tyre left on that one than the other one. Yeah, that's a look at the downhill endurance course. It's great fun. I mean, it's silly you just launch some cars down here. It's fun finding out what can survive, though. It is very, very tough, no doubt, but it is doable. I definitely think that adventure Roma could do it. Like, off-road vehicles can do it. Very tough still for them, but they can do it, and you might get a surprise, like that van. For example, the van is technically the only one that did actually make it to the bottom and still be drivable. The Donk got very close. I will give credit where credit is due. Very close on a lucky run, so to speak. But that's a more fitting end, really, I think, for the Donk. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. I shall, of course, put a link to this map in the description. It's a great fun map. I do recommend you give it a download and throw some cars down it. So yeah, if you want to try it yourself, you can do that. Shall be it from me, though. Until next time, goodbye.